Now, in the wake of all the sexual harassment allegations that have gone forward since the Harvey Weinstein allegations, more and more women have decided to come out to share their story. Now, there's a new report where a TV host and sports broadcaster has accused Senator Al Franken of kissing and groping her without her consent back in 2006. Now, this is Leeann Tweeden, and she had accused Franken, of groping her without her consent while she was asleep and provided a photo for evidence. I will show you that photo now. Yeah, nope. That's disturbing as hell. Now, the incident apparently happened in December 26th when she and Franken, she said, were on a USO tour to, quote, entertain the troops. She said, it wasn't until I was back in the US and looking through the CD of photos we were given by the photographer that I saw this one. I felt violated all over again, embarrassed, belittled, and humiliated. How dare anyone grab my breasts like this and think it's funny? Well, it's not funny. I mean, look, it's damning, okay? You can see that, right? His hands definitely look like they're on her boobs. She's asleep. It's wrong on so many levels. Now, not only that, but the story actually gets worse. Tweeden also wrote that Franken, who was a headliner on the tour, had written some skits and told her he had a part for her, adding that she agreed to play along, well, up until a certain part. When I saw the script, she said, Franken had written a moment where his character comes at me for a kiss. I suspected what he was after, but I figured I could turn my head at the last minute or put my hand over his mouth or to get more laughs from the crowd. On the day of the show, Franken and I were alone backstage going over our lines one last time. He said to me, we need to rehearse the kiss. I laughed and ignored him. Then he said it again. I said something like, relax, Al, this isn't SNL. We don't need to rehearse the kiss. She wrote that Franken continued to insist until she got uncomfortable. Quote, he repeated that actors really need to rehearse everything and that we must practice the kiss. I said, okay, so that he would stop badgering me. We did the line leading up to the kiss, and then he came at me, put his hand on the back of my head, mashed his lips against mine, and aggressively stuck his tongue in my mouth. Ooh. I immediately pushed him away with both of my hands against his chest and told me if he ever did that to me again, I wouldn't be so nice about it the next time. She then said that she felt disgusted and violated. She added that she didn't tell anyone what happened at the time, but she was angry. And look, man, she's got every right to be angry. I mean, that is clearly overstepping your bounds, clearly inappropriate. And worse, look, okay, worse than the picture, right? It's all the behavior of, hey, man, I'm important. I wrote this in here, and you're going to do what I want. I can do what I want. Now, Tweeden also says that I wanted to shout my story to the world with a megaphone to anyone who would listen. But even as angry as I was worried about the potential backlash and damage going public might have on my career as a broadcaster. So that's also infuriating. Okay? So, I mean, that fear of people in power. Like, oh man, this happened to me, but what if I come forward with it and it ruins my career? I'm going to have to shut up if I ever want a job in this town. That's gross and disgusting. Okay? That power dynamic. And we're seeing it in every one of these cases. It's someone that has a certain level of power over someone else. In this case, it's a very well-known comedian, now senator, very well liked by a lot of people. I liked him. Although I was very disappointed at his tenure in the Senate, but never mind that, right? But it's usually someone who's got some sort of recognition and power over someone else. And that's the dynamic that's at play here, okay? And look, she also said, that was then, this is now, I'm no longer afraid. And I think that has a lot to do with the allegations against Harvey Weinstein, the women that brought him down. The women that brought down Mark Halperin, or going after Brett Ratner, who was another director in Hollywood. There's also the people that took down Bill O'Reilly and Roger Ailes. All these stories, I mean, they started as a trickle, but now they're a flood. Now, Tweeden also issued a direct statement to Franken. She said, Senator Franken, you wrote the script, but there's nothing funny about sexual assault. You knew exactly what you were doing. You forcibly kissed me without my consent, grabbed my breast while I was sleeping, and had someone take a photo of you doing it, knowing I would see later and be ashamed. Now, Al Franken immediately came out with a response saying, I don't remember the incident, but he said, he doesn't remember the incident the same way that she is telling it, but said, yeah, it turns out that photo was not funny. Quote, I certainly don't remember the rehearsal for the skit the same way, but I send my sincerest apologies to Leeann. So, he also said, hey, you know what? Please do an ethics investigation on me. So he's even calling for an ethics investigation on himself. So there is that. Now, he said also, as to the photo, it was clearly intended to be funny, but wasn't. I shouldn't have done it. So look, what is it about looking like you're grabbing a sleeping woman's breast? What's funny about that? Maybe I don't understand that kind of humor, right? That's not cute. It's not funny. That is objectification. And worse, it's a violation of her personal space without consent. And see, this is the problem. People in power, they will abuse that power if they think they can get away with it. Or some people might not even realize that what they're doing is wrong. Oh, it's a joke. Ha ha. I grabbed her boobs while she was asleep and I had somebody take a picture. Ha ha. Not funny. And there's no excuse to that behavior. And look, Al Franken, just like Roy Moore, who, by the way, I'm not trying to equivocate them, right? What Moore did on more than one occasion was not only terrible, but also, in many respects, illegal. Okay? Now, they will both have their defenders that are based on political affiliation. And that's what also bothers me about this. So let me give something straight here. Now, if you're defending Al Franken because he's a good liberal and a nice guy, well, you're part of the problem. If you're defending Roy Moore because he's a good conservative, you are also part of the problem. If you are using one to distract from the other, then you are also part of the problem. You are doing nothing but using this as a political football. This is not a partisan issue. This is an issue of people in power abusing that power to end up getting what they want. This is not political until people started making it political. I don't care who you are or what political team that you play for. This behavior is unacceptable, and we have got to keep cracking down on it. Hey everybody, thanks for watching this video. If you want to see more like this, please hit the subscribe button below. And if you want to support truly independent progressive media, please consider becoming a patron at patreon.com/TYTNation.